There's the record. There's the encoder. And you're good.
Impact, no surrender. NXT Takeover Vengeance Day. And this weekend, we have the Elimination Chamber. We're going to make our pro wrestling scorecard picks for Elimination Chamber. We are going to talk about the No Surrender Impact pay-per-view and the following things that happened because of it. We are also going to talk possibly the greatest NXT takeover of all time in Vengeance Day. We'll get into all of that and more this week on Breaking Down
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
The queen rise to the top, oh yeah.
Homestead 316 says I just whipped your ass. You just made the list.
This right here is a family.
Hey, this is professional wrestler and professional podcaster Colt Boom Boom Cabana.
My name is Killer Cross.
This is The Smoke Show, Scarlett Bordeaux.
What's up, guys? The After Machine, Brian Cage.
This is Ryan from Pro Wrestling Tees.
Sadly, you are not listening to The Art of Wrestling, but you made a decent choice because you're listening.
You are now listening to...
When you're listening...
And you're listening to...
You listen to Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring.
Breaking Down the Ring. Bring it down.
Oh, it's true. It's damn true.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening, you are watching, you are paying attention to the most inappropriate pro wrestling show in the motherfucking world. You're listening to Breaking Down the Ring. We are your ring crew.
Smitty.
Nick. Walt.
Mikey.
Babs.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had a pretty big week in wrestling happen. 2 pay-per-views last weekend, another pay-per-view this weekend, and by all accounts, we may have seen one of the better pay-per-views that anybody has seen in a very, very long time in the NXT Takeover of Vengeance Day. We're going to get into actually that one to kick it off because I feel like that show in itself was so big. We were talking about it last week. We said, what are our expectations? And a lot, most of us sat around 7, 5, 8. I think personally, I would have given that out of 10. I would have given that show a 9.5. There were a few things that I wasn't a fan of, but it was nitpicky to say the least. You know what I'm saying? It's like to say that you didn't like that pay-per-view. I don't understand what you would have had to do or think in your head to be like, yeah, this pay-per-view kind of sucked. Well, I know that we only have you for a limited time this morning because you're heading over to work. So what were your thoughts on NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day? What was a high for you? What was a low?
I'm going to be honest. I can't think of a single low from that pay-per-view. It was like each match, like the pay-per-view got better. It started out really good and just got better from there, especially with the twist ending at the end with Adam Cole just kicking everybody in the face. That was great. And Roddy Strong just kind of looking like, but why, my friend?
Mom, Dad.
see, I just kickstand.
Shut up, Harold.
Oh man. So what was your favorite point about the pay-per-view?
I enjoyed the women's tag match, the Dusty Classic women's tag match.
The kickoff show part, yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. Also, I was really impressed with the men's tag match as well. I've never watched MSK. I've never seen them before. And I'm like got super behind in NXT, like trying to keep up with everything. And so I that was the first match I've ever seen those guys wrestle, and I was thoroughly impressed.
Yeah.
They look legit, and I'm a fan of the grizzled young vets. I thought they would like get their moment to shine, and I thought they get the win, but I can't be upset over the team they went with. So
it was a lot of talk about that being one of the best tag team matches that anybody has ever seen. MSK and Grizzled Young Vets, the storyline, the way it was worked. There's a lot of praise to be given there. I fully agree with that. Nick, we'll go to you next. Give me what your high. Actually, start with your low, and then give me your high for the NXT Vengeance Day.
The whole pay-per-view fucking sucked. I don't know what you guys are fucking talking about. No, man, it was.
You don't
really
like
good.
chicken and watermelon, do we? Something's wrong with him.
Some bullshit.
I'm gonna start calling you Nick Meltzer now.
I only gave it like a star and a half. I mean,
Actually, can we look up Dave Meltzer's review on this?
it was really good. God, I'm trying to think of a low moment. Dude, it's really hard to think of a low moment. I think, and this is just being nitpicky, during the women's tag match, the way they took out Ember Moon, pushing her off that platform. I mean, it's not like I hated it. It was kind of like, okay, yeah, you pushed her off the thing. So here comes the end of the match.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't.
They telegraphed
like
it a little bit too much.
Yeah, a little too much. But yeah, the tag match, the men's tag match, some of those spots, especially when I can't remember his name in Wesley in NXT now. When he jumped over
Xavier,
he did the flip over the corner to the outside. It was beautiful, and he connected so well. And you can sit there all day and like all the flippy dippy stuff, and you know you can harp on that and knock that, but it was perfect. He executed it perfectly, and that's they're taking a risk no matter what they do with the flippy dippy stuff, but especially with that. I mean, I can't imagine what it looks like running from the opposite corner. You really are just almost doing it blind because you know they're gonna be there to help you and to catch you in essence. But the fact that he did it and connected it so well, that was a holy shit moment for me. And then the Johnny Gargano and Kushida match, that match was fucking amazing. Johnny Gargano hitting those last two, and I'm terrible with wrestling move names a lot, but like the DDT that he hits like on the outside and then does it again on the inside to take out Kushida to end the match. That was awesome. Perfect way to end it. But yeah, man, whole pay-per-view, awesome.
Smitty, lows, highs.
If I say anything had to be a low, I would probably say toward the end of the women's tag match, it felt like Nick said, it was a little bit telegraphed. Some things felt kind of wonky a little bit because of how telegraphed it felt. My high was like I'm pretty much on everybody else's, but with the MSK Grizzled Young Veterans match, I'm like so you guys know I'm a big fan of Nash, Carter, and Wes Lee, as they're called now. I was all right. Like last week, I said I picked them to win because when they said the NXT Tag Championship, I don't think those championships were leaving Birch and Lorcan anytime soon. So, but I don't think they're going to win them. I think they're going to get their first shot at them. They may win the second go around.
All right, and your high?
That was my high.
That was
my high.
Okay. I'm actually really surprised nobody mentioned the women's title match. That was my low, and it wasn't my low because the match sucked. It was my low because it was like you had all of these amazing matches that went pretty long. You know, you had almost 18 minutes for the women's tag team finals match. You had 25 minutes for Gargano and Kushida. Just over 18 minutes for the men's Dusty Classic finals match. 25 minutes for Pete Dunne and Finn Balor. and the women's title match was given 20 minutes. They only used 12. And that was my problem with it, is with all of these matches going 5 more minutes longer than this, it seemed like the women's title match just stopped, right? Like it was like it was like watching your show, like a television show, and you're enjoying every minute of it, and then you lose power. What the fuck, the
series finale of The Sopranos.
Yeah, it was like the finale of The Sopranos. It just stopped. Then you can take it in all types of interpretation. But again, to have a triple threat match with women who are that good, who let's not make, even though it was only 12 minutes, it was a great fucking match, but it just stopped. It just went into quick little, here's our finish of the match. We're done with it. 12 minutes in. And I was just like, I wanted a couple more minutes. I needed a couple more minutes to hold it up to the level of everything that had been on that pay-per-view. And that is, again, super nitpicky because it was still a good match, right? But if you would have given them women a little bit more time, I think it would have been a lot better. My high is
I definitely agree with that.
My high is Finn Balor and Pete Dunne. I get that the Dusty tag matches were great. I'm not arguing that. Gargano and Kushida would have been my high if Kushida won, but they kept it on Gargano. I just felt like that was it was Kushida's time, and it definitely made sense for him to win in that match, no matter how good he was. But because
they also kind of set it up with the whole Lewis abducting theory at the beginning.
Because the whole match ended that way, Finn Balor and Pete Dunne, because of what Walt had said, especially at the end playing into it, the Adam Cole giving the kick to Finn Balor and then to Kyle O'Reilly, because Kyle came out and said, we respect you, you're a great champion. They had seemed like they had some sort of alliance set up prior to this, and then Cole goes against it. Obviously plays into the next NXT, where he said he doesn't, and put it on Twitter, he doesn't explain shit to anybody, but he's going on with what he's doing. Z, how you feeling today?
I feel great.
Yeah, all right. NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. Give us your low and your high, please.
My low, I guess, would be the women's match, not to repeat everything you just said. I'm glad you needed a couple more minutes to get it up. But anyways, the women's match did kind of fall flat, especially at the end. I feel like it was a timing thing. Like, I feel like every match had gone over and they kind of cut that one short.
No, they were Triple H came out and said they were given 20 minutes. They only used 12.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like they had another 8 minutes to play with.
Then, so then it's completely everybody involved in that match's fault, unless, pending an injury or something. It was a good pay-per-view overall.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were talking about last week, you start with a 10, and then obviously little things, make it be, I personally give this one, like a 7.5 because of the women's match. It would have been like a 10.
Wow.
My high is also the Finn and Pete Dunne match. Because quite frankly, that not that I wasn't going to watch the pay-per-view, because NXT, I think, puts on the best product pay-per-views in all of wrestling right now.
I'll agree with that.
And they have for a while. But Pete Dunne and Finn Balor are the reason I watched this. Like, I didn't watch any of it live. The only thing I did watch as it happened was Finn and Pete Dunne. Everything else I went back and watched later. But I made a point to watch that live because I didn't want it spoiled. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like I wanted the full effect of that match. I didn't want it ruined. So in going back watching it, both the finals for the Dusty Rhodes Classic were amazing matches. Like I said in the group chat, the men's was probably the best tag team match I've seen in the last decade. Like from start to finish, everything that happened, it wasn't a Young Bucks match with too many spots, but there were a lot of spots. You know what I mean? Like it was a perfect mixture of styles.
The spots were put in for reasons. It wasn't just to do a spot. It was this spot makes sense. Yeah.
Right.
It's a storytelling thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of like what Bully Ray talks about on Busted Open all the time. They didn't do spots for the sake of doing spots. They put psychology behind the spots, which makes them mean more in the long run. And I was actually kind of surprised to see MSK go over, because I really thought it was going to be one of those things where they get so close and then you kind of have the baby chasing. But I'm glad that they brought them in and kind of pushed them to the moon so far. The only thing I don't like is they talk about how they're unknown, but you go on the internet and they were a big deal in Impact. They should play off of that. Maybe not say Impact by name, but they should mention that.
I will say that it's for mainly the NXT crowd. Because Walt, before you came on, Walt was talking, this is the first match he has ever seen them do because he's been behind on NXT. So again, even though that they are, for people like us that watch Impact, we're like, yeah, we know who the fuck these people are. But Impact is there's lower ratings than NXT, right? Until possibly, I think recently, that newest one. But
and Juice, yeah.
But it's a situation where if you're not involved in all of wrestling, if you're just a WWE person, which strong majority of the casual fans are, they don't know who MSK is. So I'm okay with them playing it up for till now. Right, like now you're the Dusty Classic winner. If I ever hear this unknown team, like, no, these are your Dusty Classic winners. Now it's time to put them over as this fucking team could do anything they want to. That's my only critique on the calling of the unknown.
Okay.
Well, they
guess
did the same thing with Sting. WWE did the same thing with Sting when he came in, because they talk about his WCW career, and then they said, well, and then he just kind of went away for a bit. Like, well, no, he was in TNA for almost a decade. But,
Over a decade.
Yeah.
Well,
Vince, that's they kind of did it. They just don't acknowledge really TNA or Impact as it is now.
Well, they don't acknowledge per Vince and how he's done business for years is he doesn't say the names of his competition on the air. And the only reason you got a mention of WCW when they brought in Sting was because Vince now owns that whole catalog, so we can talk about it.
Yep.
Well, no, they mentioned WCW by name during the Monday Night Wars and like in the Attitude Era Raws. Like they would mention WCW by name because they couldn't avoid it. They couldn't ignore WCW was around.
Right.
They can kind of they can ignore Impact. They can ignore to an extent AEW because people are showing up to WWE shows. Well, no one's showing up to WWE shows at all, but no one's showing up to their shows chanting AEW or Impact's awesome or anything like that, like people were doing with WCW and ECW back in the day.
Yeah, now it's just the shirts, and they tell them they have to take them off.
Yeah.
I got another low.
Okay.
I just thought of it.
Get low, dog. Get low.
It's not even that like I was mad about it. Silly. When Tony Storm destroyed the table, the announce table.
She's really strong.
Too strong, bro.
She-Hulk, man. She-Hulk.
And that's what it was. It caught me by surprise. Like, damn, that bitch has got some fucking muscle on her.
Right.
It was one of her. It was either thunder or lightning that took out that table.
I'm pretty sure it was the right thigh. It was the right thigh. I did like how that they improvise with Io Shirai going up that scaffolding to do the move to jump down then, because someone in WWE said that was not part of the planned spot. It was something was supposed to happen with the table and then go through and everything like that. So again, I agree. It was just a happy accident that happened.
It was great that she stared at it for a second. And I was like,
She's like, well, shit, that didn't go the way it was planned. I'm Tony Storm. Look at my ass and thighs. Okay. So Z, you said you give this 7.5 overall?
Yeah, probably.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, I'd have to. I mean, probably 7.5, somewhere in there.
Wow. All right. Walt, what's your overall score of this out of 10?
9.5. I still got wood.
Okay. Smitty.
I'm giving it a 9 until I go back and watch it again.
All right. Nick.
I'd say 9.
You say a 9? I put it on Twitter and I'm going to stand by it. I said 9.5 because my only problem with it was the seemingly abrupt ending of the women's title match. Because like Walt was saying in the beginning, man, every match just got better and better and better.
But you also like I had a 9.5 until you mentioned the whole women's match. Like we always talked about how the women's matches at takeovers usually steal the show for the most part.
It wasn't a bad match. My only problem with that match is the ending. So I can't say anything less than a 9.5 because to me it doesn't matter if it didn't steal the show. It was a great fucking match.
So with that being said, it feels like. But that being said, it's, at that point, you're saying it feels like that women's titles match kind of fell flat for a takeover because of the abrupt ending.
No, it just feels like it had an abrupt ending for anything, for period. But I can't say that the match was bad because of it. Now, you want to know how Dave Meltzer felt? You told me how to look these up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Here's
Unky Dave.
I
Uncle
only
Dave.
like Japan and AEW Dave Meltzer ratings. The NXT Women's Championship match was scored the lowest, which we would all agree on.
2.5 stars.
3.75.
Oh, okay.
The women's finals for the Dusty Classic is the next lowest.
4.
At 4 stars, yes. Then you have...
Why does he hate women so much? God.
Because they don't give him any play. Then you have the men's Dusty Road Tag Team Classic Finals at 4.5 stars. Also at 4.5 stars, Z, take a guess here.
The women's Dusty Road. Or no, we already talked about that.
Yep.
Finn,
Gargano and
Kushida?
Kushida, yeah.
Nope, that's the
Finn and
highest
Dunn.
match.
Oh, because
Nelson's got a hard on
Kushida's
for Gargano.
Japanese. I got it. He's Japanese, so he gets an extra
But
star.
also,
Finn Balor. Okay, Finn Balor and Pete Dunne got 4.5 stars. Then Kushida and Gargano are higher than 4.5.
4.75.
That's it. There isn't a single match on this card that got a 5.
Yeah, 3 that's close.
I don't think Gargano. I think Gargano and Kushida was a good match. I don't think it was the best match on the card. And I agree with Walt though that every match as you watched it just got better and better and better.
Yeah.
The only reason I'm giving this a 7.5 is if I give it a 9, that means if the next one's better, I have to give it a 10.
Well, my thing is, I think this is the best takeover, period. There wasn't a low point other than an ending to a match, right? So,
I think you had the Cameron Grimes come out talking how he got rich off of
The video was hilarious.
Digicoin and fucking GameStop, which I thought was great.
I agree, and they all that was a rap video, and then they had done that with Cameron Grimes the Wednesday beforehand. So I kind of expected it because now you're trying to push Cameron Grimes like he was Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin like he's Cameron Grimes. Sorry, I don't know how they want to do that.
They're doing a whole Beverly Hillbillies gimmick.
Yeah, but whatever.
I like the Beverly Hillbilly gimmick that they've given him.
So not a single match over a 4.75. Only one of them got that. 3.75 for the women's title match. I mean, not for nothing. It's not like he shit all over them, but you're like, when you're watching these matches and you're seeing how the fan reaction is playing out, especially after Kushida Gargano. Now, I agree that in a strong majority of people, that was the match of the night, right? I can't argue. If you want to argue between Finn Balor and Pete Dunne versus Gargano and Kushida, you could flip-flop. And that's a personal fucking opinion too. So for them to be where they were on this, but so many people on social media were like, give it all the stars, every fucking star. And I was like, all 8? to somebody, and they were like fucking 12, and I was like, holy shit, we're really gonna
Damn.
break the bank, right?
I did actually enjoy it. One thing I enjoyed about the Kushida Gargano match, there was a clean finish with a heel winning, which you don't really see on WWE programming often.
Yeah. No, I'm not arguing. Yeah, the match was great, and I agree with that. That is something that is, there's usually always a distraction involved, some sort of something. Let's specifically now talk a little bit about each match. Io Shirai retaining. All right, we'll start with the women's title match. Walt, do you think that was the right way to go? Should they have given it to Toni Storm and set up an Io Shirai Toni Storm WrestleMania match? I mean, it's still technically set up that it could happen during WrestleMania weekend or the next NXT Takeover. But do you think that they're going the wrong way with it, with Shirai retaining, or would you prefer Storm to be the holder?
I picked Toni Storm to win because I thought, I picked all the titles to change hands, and none of them did. So
none
shows what I know. But I don't have a problem with Io holding on to it, because she's a great champion and she's good in the ring, and it's just, and you're planting the seeds, because I mean, even though Toni Storm didn't win, it was a triple threat match. For what, right? It's triple threat, right? Or is it Fatal 4?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mercedes Martinez, Shirai, and Toni Storm.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, I feel like Toni Storm, she's still in good standing where she can have that one-on-one match with Io, and if you make a switch, awesome. If not, I mean, I'm not going to be broken up about it if Io doesn't drop the title anytime soon.
Okay. What about you, Smitty? Did you feel like it was time for Toni to take it? I know you were talking a little bit last week about how I think you picked Io to win, right?
Yep. I picked Io to win.
So,
I actually called everyone on this card.
For the top, basically, do you feel that after watching the match, it was the right story to tell going forward?
Somewhat, because like one of the things that, like I say somewhat, because Toni Storm kept bringing up the fact that she won the Mae Young Class by beating Io Shirai. We all knew Mercedes Martinez was there to take a pin. You could have put a swerve on there and continue to put more depth to the story, to where Io could have pinned Toni, and you could say, well, you beat me, now I beat you, and you can still set up, and you can still do what you're doing right now. But I have no problem with the way it went down, especially because I got my points.
All right, cool. Nick.
Well, I did pick Toni Storm to win too, but I'm not mad that Io won. I mean, I think that she's been a great champion. The matches that she puts on are fucking amazing every time. I mean, I can't remember a time when I've ever seen a bad Io Shirai match, whether it's in a singles match or a triple threat or whatever. But I do think eventually that Toni is going to be the one that they put the title on. And I do still think it's leading up to a match at, WrestleMania weekend or whatever takeover that they have next between the two. And I do like the idea more of it being a singles match, it being a long singles match between the two, because those two ladies can obviously go. So, pushing a 30-minute match between the two of them would be an instant classic. And I think that's best saved for a time like WrestleMania weekend or the takeover that leads up to WrestleMania. So, yep.
Z.
No, I didn't get the points.
All right. It's okay. Yeah, right. That's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with Io Shirai being the champ.
How much do you owe her?
At this point, I don't know. I feel like she might owe me. I didn't know much about her for a long time. I didn't know her background or anything like that, and I have become a huge fan of hers. In fact, I think she's one of the best women's wrestler in the world, let alone she's definitely top 5 in the company right now.
Right.
And I'm glad that at least NXT is giving her the spotlight I feel she deserves. I think they didn't put Tony Storm over because people are still getting to know Tony Storm, especially with this story. So as it progresses, the fan base for NXT that hasn't watched NXT UK or the Mae Young Classic will become more familiar with Tony, and then at that time they'll put the title on her. Plus, I really like the way this story is playing out because on the most recent episode of NXT, they did some old school stuff where like Io was in the middle of a photo op and got attacked by Tony Storm, but instead of like showing you the live footage, they just showed you like the cuts of it, kind of like they used to do on Raw back in like, 97. They just give you like little clips of what happened. And it's like, oh yeah, this is what happened. And basically it just shows Io at the championship, then Tony's foot in Io's face, and then Io on the ground. And that's it. And the rest is, for your imagination of what happened. So I think that's pretty cool. They do a good job keeping it interesting. So no matter what they did during that match, I think the story going forward is going to be, good.
All right. Up next, let's talk a little bit
Out of
about.
here, guys.
Huh?
Out of here.
All right, man.
Have to work.
Have fun at work.
I just sent my picks in the chat.
All right, sweet man. Thank you.
Yep.
You guys did your picks already?
No, he sent his because he's leaving.
No, I didn't even do mine.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do them on the show on paper, Daniel.
Getting those paper points.
He took me seriously.
I know, that's awesome. I still say write them down. This way you write them down, put them up. Fucking, I don't give a shit. Take a screenshot, something. Did we go the right route with Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez winning over Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart? Smitty, start with you.
Yeah, they went the right way. I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling, and it makes sense that one of the more established teams within this tournament won it. With the inaugural thing, I get that it's not always what WWE programming does, because the first men's winners were, I believe, Finn Balor and Samoa Joe.
Okay.
But it was nice to see this. It was good. I think it was good. And they seem like the more credible team to go against the women's tag team champions at this point in time.
Do you think they're still going to be the women's tag team champions after tonight?
Yeah.
Okay. Nick.
Yeah, I agree with Smitty. I think that I've really enjoyed Raquel Gonzalez, her progress. At first, I didn't really care for her.
Right. But
yeah, she's got a lot better. Yeah, and I don't think that they'll take the titles off of Shayna and Nia, but eventually, I think that
they're running with this whole thing.
I think they're a good choice to win the tournament, and I don't know. All right.
I think they need to win those titles, because I think those women's tag titles will do way better down in NXT than they are doing on the main roster.
Agreed.
Well, I think if you're going to actually like change them up, because you have that whole idea that the titles can be defended on any brand, I think if you're going to actually stick with that, then Raquel and Dakota are a good choice for it.
Mm-hmm. Z, your thoughts? Right way to go? Do you wish you would have seen Ember and Shotzi?
I really thought they were gonna go with Team Uber Babyface, but I'm glad, like Smitty was saying, I'm glad they went with the more established team. Psychologically, it makes more sense to have an actual team that's been together for a while than just two random singles competitors thrown together. Like I feel like as far as psychology goes, the well-oiled machine, the team that's been together longer should always prevail. Right. Pending like fluke roll up or something like that. But like Nick was saying too, I didn't really care for Raquel at first, and That was because I stereotyped her. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I saw her come in as like the bodyguard, the big tall woman. Like I really didn't
Lady
think
Diesel.
she yeah, basically, Lady Diesel. And I really didn't think, I thought they were putting her out there to give her experience. I didn't realize that she was actually like a 10-year vet from the Indies. I didn't know anything about her. So it kind of surprised me the first time I saw her in-ring work, and from there she's just grown on me. Like she's a great talent. And I think she's got a great future in NXT or even on the main roster.
Nice.
So I'm glad that those two went over, and I really think in 2 weeks they're going to take those titles from Shayna and Jax.
Nice.
Take the whole thing.
We talked about the men's Dusty Classic final. We talked about Finn and Pete Dunne. Let's talk a lot more about Johnny Gargano and Kushida. Me personally, I thought it was time for Kushida to go over. I liked the setup of everything. I liked, Austin Theory being pulled away sneakily. I liked that when they came out, they realized he was gone, so he sent the ladies to go find him. Therefore, it was a one-on-one match. And normally, that means that the one-on-one match goes towards the face, because the heel is usually not going to win without some sort of distraction throughout the match, right? And that's fine. I get why Gargano went over here, but I really think it was time for Kushida to win. I think you had a great story in saying with Gargano going, hey man, the only reason that Kushida won is because I was worried about what happened to Austin Theory. I didn't have my full into the match. And then you could have, if you wanted to put the belt back on Gargano or anything like that, you could have. I'm stuck wondering where Kushida goes now, right? Because he's had injuries and everything to hold him back, but this is finally his time to where he could have had a pretty good shine with it. So now I'm kind of wondering what they do with him now. It's like you took him out of the title opportunity. He obviously can't go for an NXT title, major title, right? So do they tag him up with someone, put the tag titles on him, something? I don't know. I'm sitting here going, I feel like Kushida's about to get lost in the mix. Granted, Triple H blows my mind every fucking time I think something like this, right? But at the same time, I still think it. Nick, your thoughts on the overall match and the finale of it?
I put Johnny Gargano to win the match, but I ultimately did want Kushida to take the title because I think he's going to be a really good champion. But I was okay with Gargano winning, and it's mostly because of the fact of what Smitty said earlier, is that it was a clean finish for a heel. I expected Austin Theory to get involved in the match somehow, and then when we saw him get abducted by Dexter Lumis before the match, then ultimately it was a straight one-on-one match. Nobody on the outside of the ring, just these two dudes going. So I'm not a big fan of the whole way angle. But ultimately I'm okay with Gargano winning the match. I think we'll see Kushida eventually. They may carry this feud on for a little while longer, but ultimately Gargano winning the match was fine.
All right, Smitty.
I was all right with this match. I saw Gargano win. I didn't see him winning clean. But ultimately, I want this feud to continue a little bit longer with Kushida. But I don't think Kushida's going to be the one to take that title off him. I think they're going to put it on Lumis. I really think they're going to put the North American title on Dexter Lumis.
Okay.
Instead of Kushida. And I feel like Kushida's probably going to get lost in the shuffle, like you said a minute ago, which I would hate to see.
All right. Z.
I love the fact that Dexter Lumis is portraying actual Dexter. Like on Sunday, we saw him abduct a sexual predator and get rid of him. So I mean, I love when art imitates reality. With that being said, I think Kushida is going to come to the main roster, and
Definitely get lost in the shuffle there.
he's going to have a 30-minute banger of a match with Nakamura on main event. I really don't know where they're going with him, which makes me kind of sad because he's another one. Okay, so I didn't really follow him when he was in New Japan, but there were, big. When they brought him in, they made a big deal out of it, and I really don't like the Marty McFly gimmick. But
really,
I at first I did not. All these things have grown on me. Like especially when they stopped with his like just so over the top babyface gimmick and kind of gave him a mean streak and had him like working stiff. I became more of a fan when he did that.
Once I worked in Japanese.
Well, yeah, I mean they're like, because it did look it did make a huge difference when he started working more stiff, and he looked more comfortable in the ring at that point too. And when a talent feels comfortable in the ring, I feel like that's when they do their best work. So with that said, I really enjoyed this match. I have no idea what they're going to do with Kushida. I really thought they were going to give him the title, and they still could. But I mean, there's also a possibility they team up with Dexter Lumis and then they battle the way for a little bit. Either way, I am all about watching a sexual predator get abducted by a serial killer.
Can't argue it. Can't argue that at all. And then finally, the twist of the show. It finished off with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch coming out and beating up Finn Balor, and Pete Dunne helping. Undisputed Era making their way to the ring. They fought off those three. Kyle O'Reilly telling Finn, hey, we got you. We respect you. Everything's cool. And then as they stand there and, Roddy, Kyle, and Adam all hold up the Undisputed Era sign, and Finn, does the bullet. Super fucking kick to the face from Adam Cole. Kyle O'Reilly, what are you doing? We weren't supposed to do this. Super fucking kick to the face of Kyle O'Reilly by Adam Cole. The twist at the end sent shockwaves, literally.
For grown men cried.
Like it was like, wow. But at the same time, set up such good shit. Right?
Good shit.
Such good shit. Z, we ended with you with the last one. We'll start off with you. The ending of this match, the twist, everything. What did it do for you? Are you happy with it? Even talking into Wednesday when
okay, cool.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Just go into it.
You haven't seen it, it's your fault now.
So when it first happened, I mean, it was shocking, but I can't say that I was shocked. Like I knew somebody was going to turn on somebody in the Undisputed Era. And with the way they're portraying Kyle as such the baby face, like you kind of knew it was going to be Adam.
Yeah.
Going into Wednesday though, especially with what happened at the end of the show on Wednesday, reminded me more of when Triple H broke away from DX. Like he wanted to prove he could do it on his own, and he felt like the group was weighing him down. He did that, that interview with JR. I mean, he didn't really like turn on anybody. He just kind of left the group.
Mm-hmm.
I am the fucking game.
Right. So I feel like they're going that way with Adam Cole. Like he's like, he wants his championship back, and being in this group, he hasn't had it for a year and he wants it back, or 8 months, or however long that he hasn't had it for. And Finn versus Adam Cole, like I would sit there thinking, I'm like, oh man, I really want to see, Pete Dunne and Finn Balor at WrestleMania. But if you're gonna have a fucking NXT championship match at WrestleMania, Adam Cole and Finn Balor, I couldn't think of a better match to put on the main stage. Like I don't even know why it didn't pop in my head before this happened to have them at Mania. But that's how far they took Adam Cole out of the title picture, which is what made this so shocking. Is like you didn't even think Adam Cole is in the title picture, and with one fucking super kick, he's right back in.
Right.
It changes up era. We haven't seen Bobby Fish in all of this. Like
I think
we haven't.
he's injured.
He's hurt.
He's always hurt, but
Always.
we still see him on TV. That's what happens when you get old. You get hurt.
Hey, old man.
I'm just kidding, Bobby. I love you. With
yeah,
I really like the story that's going on here, and I love how like mom and dad are getting a divorce, and Roddy doesn't know what to do. He's like stuck in the middle, like, oh, yeah, should go hang out with Adam, or should I go hang out with Kyle? And he's just lost between the two, and it'll be interesting to see like where his allegiance lies. But I also feel like Roddy would be the one to get lost in the shovel if they disband the era as a whole, because I mean you've established Kyle as a singles competitor. Adam Cole is Adam fucking Cole, and then I mean I like Roderick Strong. I even liked him before he was an Arrow, when he was the
Messiah,
super,
the backbreaker.
Yeah, I've always been a fan. I just before Era he wasn't really doing anything, and after Era I don't know what he's gonna do. But I have a feeling if he, like, let's say they break up the Undisputed Era as a whole, like there is none of it, they disband it completely. Then what does Roddy do in NXT, or what does Roddy do on the main roster? Like I could see Roddy going up to the main roster and being like the next Zack Ryder, like a guy that should be over, has the look, has the in-ring ability, but just jobs to everybody.
I think you're gonna see them do with Undisputed Era what they do with Bullet Club. I have a feeling
Finn's gonna be the new leader, because I had that feeling.
I don't think Finn's gonna be the leader. I think you're just gonna rotate members in and out. I think you're gonna just have overall Adam Cole running the fucking show on Undisputed Era, and like the super kick was a way to get out. Like Adam Cole super kick Kyle O'Reilly. You're done. You're out. Sorry, bro. That's it. You're no longer a part of the Undisputed Era because you're not all about the Undisputed Era, you know. So I could see something like that going on because Adam Cole tweeted out before Wednesday, Undisputed Era for forever. So I honestly feel that they're still running Undisputed Era. Kyle's just out.
Okay, so I'm thinking that Adam Cole left, but your thought is that Adam Cole and Roddy and Bobby Fish, wherever he is, whatever hospital he's in, and then that kick was getting Kyle out. Okay, that I can see
the Bucks super kick everybody else out. The Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Nick, your thoughts on the finish of the match and playing into Wednesday?
I mean, you guys are making really good points, and it all makes sense. And like in my head and in my heart, I'm like, man, I wish that this was the way that they're doing shit, because
the Gargano way.
Exactly.
It's the way.
The match was awesome. I'm with Z. I felt like eventually we were going to see the Undisputed Era kind of disband in some sense, but the fact that it happened, it was still shocking. It was a moment
to the system.
You beat me to it. Hey, it's backwards.
No.
Well, it made me want to watch the following episode of The Brand, whether something happened at a Raw pay-per-view or whatever. But I wanted to watch NXT, the next episode, more than I've wanted to watch the next episode of Raw or SmackDown or AEW or whatever, more than any of those in a long time.
I always say that about NXT. It's the only one I say it about, but I don't know if it's Triple H or the producers or the agents or just the whole fucking team, but they really do have a grasp on the leaving you wanting more, so you tune in next week.
And that's the way I felt. I was like, okay, Wednesday can't come soon enough. So, and I usually watch either AEW or NXT, either live or, DVR or whatever. And like, I watched NXT that night. Like, as soon as I watched our regular Wednesday night shit, NXT was on. I like Mikey's idea that, ultimately Kyle O'Reilly would be out of the Undisputed Era, and that they've made Kyle O'Reilly this baby face, so to speak. So ultimately, they're going to start weaving in different people. I just, in my mind, I'm like, well, who could they do that with? But
Cheetah.
It's open-ended. There's a lot that they could do with this. When you saw on Wednesday night Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong kind of arguing in the parking lot, and you didn't know what was going on, I don't think that Roderick Strong could at this point in time, like today, do his own thing. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of him on the mic, and I think that's obviously part of it. And when you take that away, it really hurts. He can do it with the Undisputed Era, but on his own, not so much. What they could do with this, and again, I'm ready for Wednesday again. You know what I mean? Let's keep this going. And I think if we can get more of those WWE Raw or SmackDown fans tuning into NXT, and these storylines are better than what Raw and SmackDown are doing, other than like Roman Reigns thing.
I don't know. Sami Zayn, Big E, all that stuff going on. I think
SmackDown's doing really well right now.
Yeah, I think I think NXT's doing better. I think NXT's doing better. I'm not going to argue that, especially for the long run. But I think SmackDown is building really well. And this coming from a fucking dude that doesn't even watch it. Like, I literally watch fucking Walt Culture's ups and downs, and like, I don't watch the show. I won't watch the show. I'm making these Elimination Chamber picks. I didn't look at a single fucking website. This is all blind watching how people react, because that's how I get my information on it. I don't support WWE right now. You have a U.S. title match, and one of the guys on there is a dude that forced a girl to have sex with him, right? I can't support this stuff. NXT. I watch the pay-per-views. I will say I have the network. I have Peacock, because this is the last pay-per-view tonight that's going to be on the WWE Network standalone app in the United States, right? After this, Fastlane is the first pay-per-view that will be on the Peacock app. You'll have to watch it on Peacock. Look, man, I watch Impact, right? I watch a little bit I skim through AEW. I definitely watch New Japan, but currently, I can't give my love to WWE support because of the stuff, right? Same time, it's not like I don't respect a lot of the things that are going on in there. I can't argue that the Roman Reigns storyline is phenomenal, right? And I can't argue that how Sami Zayn is running with this is spectacular. The All Against Me, I'm, with the documentary crew and stuff like that. The Apollo Crews heel turn this week on SmackDown. It's you're putting more stock into Apollo Crews, stuff that you wish you had gotten more of. They're giving you on SmackDown, and I have to say it's kind of part Daniel Bryan, right? Because think about it. When he started going into the creative of it, all of a sudden SmackDown stopped being, because we even said it before. We're like, wow, these shows are really falling off at one point. And even at one point, we said Raw was better than SmackDown since it's been to Fox. Like, it was barely, but it was better.
Since Roman came back, I mean, there's been no comparison at all.
And that storyline was always the number one. And
then the mid card has always gotten really better on SmackDown too.
Then Daniel Bryan took over about I want to say like a couple months after Roman came back, and that's when
it was before Mania. He was
Oh, wow.
So during COVID is when Daniel Bryan and Edge, well, Edge was injured, started doing creative. Edge was doing Raw, Daniel Bryan was doing SmackDown, and it was when it was before he came back from COVID too, because he was doing a lot of Zoom, like they were doing creative meetings, but it was in Zoom. So since Daniel Bryan has come back and been like physically in the building,
Yeah,
I would say it's gotten even better. But he's been, I think they might have given him more power
because
to,
he was there.
yeah, right. Because he started as like what did they call it? Like
Consultant?
he was like an assistant to creative, and now he might be like full. You know what I mean?
Okay, which that was shortly after Roman returned.
I believe so.
Yeah,
because Daniel Bryan came back on screen roughly around that time as well.
Yeah. So again, sorry for taking over that point, Nick. That you were trying.
Oh, you're good. Nope, it flowed well.
That's a good flow. All right, Smitty, you're the last one we'll talk about with this, and then we're going to go into Impact's No Surrender pay-per-view.
Okay, so try to be quick with this. I like your idea, Mikey, but everything that happened on Wednesday, I really think they are going to probably still disband Undisputed Era, and I think Cole's probably going to go up to the main roster after Takeover, before or after Mania. And Roddy's going to get lost in the shuffle. Kyle O'Reilly, he's either going to be a single star, or when Bobby Fish comes back, you can put him back in a tag team as well. And that's pretty much how I'm going to leave this right here. It's like everything you said, I would love to happen, but this is WWE programming still. And I think Adam Cole is going to go up to the main roster.
Okay, I can see that.
After all this is done.
I can see Adam Cole going to the main roster and still taking Roddy with him. Maybe even Bobby if he was feeling better. And then starting continuing the Undisputed Era up there. You know,
you got to put him on Raw, though.
I really think that you need to keep Undisputed Era together. One, some of the best-selling merch in WWE, right? Breaking that up is stupid right now. It's like...
Same with the New Day.
But it doesn't matter. New Day makes sense to finally break up. How long was the New Day together?
You talk about merch sales. They still want to talk about
But at the same time, it makes sense that the New Days broke up, but not broke up. Right? They anytime there's a pay-per-view, they're on the same fucking show. They just said it even at the last pay-per-view with the Rumble. If one of them win, all of them win the Royal Rumble. They're not broken up. They're just on separate brands. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Which
and
is something
Big E's got some new music, and that's about it.
Which I wish they would have done with fucking Retribution. You know, have fucking a SmackDown version of it and a SmackDown faction and a Raw faction. That would have been amazing with how they were building it at the beginning of it, right? Because they were everywhere. So why not have both? But that's fine. New Day is still nobody's gone heel. Nobody has turned on anyone. New Day is technically still together. Undisputed Era, keep that faction going strong, right? Send it on the way. If you're going to move up Adam Cole, you got to move up Fish with him. And coming into Undisputed Era, if he goes to Raw, that sets up a lot more people that could be involved. If he goes to SmackDown, sets up a lot more people that could be involved in this. I just really think it's a smart idea to keep this together. Yes, Kyle O'Reilly and Roddy arguing and stuff like that shows that there's still Roddy still hasn't said he's done, right? At all. We're like, whoa, we said it. Roddy's like the mom and dad are fighting.
In the middle of a divorce.
Yeah, mom and dad are fighting. So who am I going to go stay with? Well, he's going to go stay with dad, and Mommy O'Reilly is going to be left behind, right? And that's fine if Kyle O'Reilly sits left behind and Adam moves on, because Kyle O'Reilly, we've said it ourselves, has put on some of the best matches of 2020 with Finn Balor, right? Him staying down there and finally getting an NXT title would be sweet. I digress. Let's move on. No Surrender. Impact's pay-per-view. We're going to run over this real quick because we've got to make our picks for WWE's Elimination Chamber. Smitty, give me your high. Give me your low. Go for it.
I'm going with my low first here.
Yeah, give me your low, then your high.
I'd probably say my low was probably the 6 knockout tag match. I like where they're going with it afterwards, but it just kind of felt underwhelming for the women's tag match. It just kind of felt underwhelming.
The Havoc
Fire
and Flavor versus Fire and Flavor.
it just kind of felt underwhelming. I like the fact, like, I'm a big fan of Kiera Hogan. I believe like her getting these tag titles is her finally getting something for how much stock she's put into this company, and it's showing that they're trying to put stock in her. But for me, it's just not working right now. My highlight was probably that triple threat revolver match for the number one division, for the X Division title. It was something that was interesting. It kept me in there, and I was really glad that Josh Alexander won, especially with the match it led to on Tuesday with him and TJP, which was fucking phenomenal. And there we go. Leave it. You just asked for high and low.
Nick, you're low and you're high.
Honestly, I completely agree, because the women's tag match, I think it was okay, but I like Havoc and Nevaeh in the ring, but I just don't think that the way they worked with Kiera Hogan and that whole
Steels.
it just, I don't know, it didn't really do anything for me. And you can kind of see now, based on what happened on Tuesday, that Nevaeh kind of feeling like she's taking responsibility for the loss and for their tag team not doing as well as they should. They're going to eventually split. So, I don't know. I don't want to say I could have did without it, but it just didn't really do a whole lot for me. And the high, that triple threat revolver match, you see a gauntlet match, one-on-one matches, but you don't see, this is that same idea, but with the triple threat style behind it. It worked really well. I think all the participants were awesome. And that Death Valley driver with Josh Alexander having, I think it was TJP and Ace Austin on his shoulder.
Ace Austin and Trey Miguel.
Yeah. And that was, I don't know why I said TJP, but that was fucking phenomenal. And
yeah, and then that was sick.
Josh Alexander on his own, away from the North, has worked really well, and I think he's proven that as a singles competitor, he's one of the best that they have. So I think that's working really well for Impact.
Z, you're low and you're high for the Impact Wrestling pay-per-view. No surrender.
I'm gonna pick Nick's low and Smitty's high because I didn't watch it.
What? You have Impact Plus?
Come
I don't know,
on,
man.
man.
I never caught it live, and I was.
You can go back and watch it.
I was so excited when we all had the same score, and then I clicked on my scorecard, and it was a different score, and then it just turned off the whole pay-per-view for me. Didn't want to watch it anymore. Daniel ruins everything for me.
God damn it. All right.
Daniel.
Damn, Daniel.
Daniel. My low was the main event title match. Sorry. Watching Tommy Dreamer try and wrestle is painful, man. It really is. I will not take away what he's given to this company as a mind currently, as a wrestler in the past, as somebody who helped with ECW, which he's done a lot for this industry. And I understand it was his 50th birthday. And I understand that they're trying to work into getting into the Moose and Rich Swann thing. I get it. It does not mean that at any fucking point I think Tommy Dreamer should have been involved in that match, right? You watched it, and Tommy trying to move, Tommy just trying to stand up after going to the ground. It was painful, man, and it's not for the main event of a show. Sorry, it's not. I have nothing but respect for the man. It does not mean that what happened on the pay-per-view was digestible. It was bad, right? I will say that the spot with the finger, I don't know if that was real or fake. He may have had the Alexa Bliss, this is how my arm bends when this is how my finger bends, right? Thing happen, which cool. Awesome. It looked good, whether it was real or fake. It looked good. does not mean I wanted to see it. Fucking hated it. Every last second of watching it, I was like, God, he's old. Jeez, he has lost a step. You know, and it's, look, man, Tommy Dreamer's not in a great shape, right? Like,
never was in the best shape.
Right, but he was always in shape-ish. He was in wrestling shape. He's not in wrestling shape. He's not in singles competitor wrestling shape, right? You watch the Yokozuna fucking thing on WWE Network. At the end of his WWE career, they put him in tag matches because he couldn't go as a singles competitor. Tommy Dreamer could not go in this match. I'm sorry. It was horrible to watch. Again, I have to state over and over again that it does not take away the respect I have for the man. Just I don't want to see him in a singles match right now, especially for a title like this.
Well, this is how the way they do stuff in Impact, how they, you know, come in and they tape the next month in one day. So you wrestle a whole bunch in one day and then you don't wrestle again until next month. And this is what happens. Like, if Tommy was wrestling weekly, he probably would have been better in the ring on Sunday. Now, granted, like I said, I didn't watch, but I have to assume that this lightened schedule this is how it affects your in-ring product. Because back in the day, and I'm not even talking pre-COVID, or I'm not even talking COVID, I'm talking pre-COVID, guys would work 360 days a year. So they could do this shit with their eyes closed. You had less injuries because you had the callous effect of you work so much that your body's just used to it. With these longer breaks that we're getting now, you see more injuries. People don't look as fluid. You see more mistakes. And especially like someone like Tommy Dreamer, who's 50 years old, like not having those continuous reps clearly, you know, take you out of ring shape, especially when you're not in good shape. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's a COVID effect, the lightened schedule effect. But I'm with you. I hate watching matches with I won't say former legends because they're all legends in their own right. Yeah. But they bring back older people who can't necessarily go. Goldberg, for example, you put him in a fucking 4-minute match because the dude couldn't do more than an 8-minute match his entire fucking career, even though he's in phenomenal fucking shape.
Right.
He still gets gassed and whatnot. So
wrestling shape is different than fucking
absolutely.
Well, and
but if you look at someone like Goldberg, you would think just by his physique, like, oh, that dude could go. Then he gets in a ring and he's blown up in 2 seconds.
Right.
Nick? Well, and to that point, like, you have these older guys that are strictly doing these matches to get the younger guys over. And
you see a lot of Impact too.
I don't think that you need to do that with your brand champion. I mean, he's the champion for a reason. Like, if you're watching Impact, you've obviously watched WWE in the past or some other form of promotion. You got to know who Rich Swann is. You know what I mean?
He's
like,
the guy
you're not
just in a trunk.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't he the dude that kidnapped a girl?
Well,
allegedly.
Where's Dexter Loomis? We need him to get Swan, Riddle, fucking.
Well, that was allegedly.
Charges were dropped against Swan, so they just fired him quick because he's a black dude.
You know, you're putting Tommy Dreamer in this match, and when I first heard it, I was like, but why? And I think for the first couple minutes, Tommy Dreamer did okay. But yeah, I mean, eventually it got to the point where it was like, man, him getting up off the mat, it took 20 minutes for him to just get up off the mat to do his next move. And like you said, Mikey, you're not taking anything away from him, all due respect, but it's like, why did you even have this match? You could have had, a couple other matches that were on the card. They had 9 matches on the card. You could have had a couple of these other ones be the main event and not that.
Even the tag match could have been the main event.
Yeah.
They had a 3-way tag because that was a really good one too.
I will say, I'm not saying it's mainly because I don't think Tommy should have been given the opportunity. I agree that he definitely should on a pay-per-view. I think that's what it mainly is, right? This is a pay-per-view. If you would have done it on an Impact, I probably would have had less shit to talk about it. right? I've been like, all right, I get it. It's an Impact show, so on and so forth. It's not really like a selling point to anything, but your company is currently involved in a 4-way cross promotion to the point when the Impact No Surrender was going off the air. That's when you realized that FinJuice was coming from New Japan onto this Tuesday's Impact show, which they did, right? So if you're following it up with that, to go into watching that, you watched Rich Swann and Tommy Dreamer, and then saw that for the promo for FinJuice coming from New Japan to Impact. You're currently in a 4-way promotion crossover: New Japan, Impact, AAA, and AEW. Okay, these fucking people are pushing. I mean, again, we said it. You had the highest ratings of Impact since December, maybe
Omega showed up.
Yeah,
Since Omega showed up.
The highest ratings that they have had for Impact since that show. Okay, but on the pay-per-view leading into it, you had Rich Swann, Tommy Dreamer closing out the show.
Okay, so
again,
I'm going to defend this. I'm like big devil's advocate here. So I get what you're saying on the match, but everything that led up after with the whole Moose destroying both of them, but right before the FinJuice promo, I think I was all right. I think that's the only thing that kind of saved for me. Like the match wasn't all that, but the aftermath of the match.
You could have had that aftermath. You could have had that aftermath before the fucking tag match.
Hey guys.
Yeah.
What's FinJuice?
Fit Finley's son and Juice Robinson are a New Japan tag team.
CJ Parker. Remember CJ Parker from NXT?
I think CJ Parker and I hear Baywatch.
Yeah, that's instantly where my head went.
I'm like, what? Who? Like right away, I was like, oh, Baywatch? We're back with Baywatch, bitch. Give me some fucking CJ Parker. Let's go.
But yeah, so
that's all I thought. I'm like, who?
The guy Kevin Owens broke his nose in his debut at NXT.
That's too many bloods ago, man. I don't remember.
Yeah. So basically, it's a top tier New Japan tag team, and that's part of the reason again why you're seeing other people like they're talking Okada's about to come to AEW because this. So you have this 4-way promotion crossover that is blowing up everywhere on social media. People are like, "Holy shit!" So fucking happy this is happening, and again. Your pay-per-view main event was Tommy Dreamer and Rich Swann. Should not have been that. Could have, again, you put that on a main event of Impact. I'm less argumentative about it. But your pay-per-view is your selling points. Your pay-per-view is what you're doing to get people in. Pay-per-view is where you make your money. You want people to buy Impact Plus for that $8 a month or $72 for the year. You want that? And then people are like, I'm paying $8 a month for this.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a selling point. Put that on free TV. I don't care what happened with Moose afterwards. The match itself was not worth it. So let's get away from that and let's talk about my high. My high is Jake something. Okay. Jake is a Michigan wrestling dude. He is, if you pay attention to any of the indies, we've watched him wrestle when we went to that BCW show out in fucking Belleville. And he's always been Jake something on the indies. When they brought him into Impact, they made him Cousin Jake. And that's cool. I don't give a shit. You know, Hakeem Zayn is now Rohit Raju, and he's running with that name. But Jake something always had really good matches, and he had great promos because even now when he goes, I believe in something, I believe in Jake something. That's not even something that he did. Something. That's not even anything he did in the indies. He was always just like, what's my name? And it was like something. It stuck. It was really good. Him getting the win over Diener and obviously getting his ass kicked afterwards, but they're putting stock into the dude. That's why it's my high. It's not like it wasn't the best, greatest moment, but putting stock into a dude that one can go, two cuts amazing promos. I think the future with him is something that could be very highly elevated. And I'm just really happy that he's getting the chance to not just do it, but to do it with what he brought him to the dance, right? I like that. I appreciate that in Impact. And it's something I will never knock for Impact at all.
I hope he makes it big. Black Taurus.
Whoa, what?
I said, I want to give a shout out to Black Taurus. So like, I'm glad to see the AAA thing.
I thought it
like,
was Taurus.
I thought it was Taurus, like the car. Oh, also, I hope
he writes
something
Taurus.
makes it big. It makes a lot of money, and then maybe he'll buy Ruby, and who knows?
Me too, dude. We saw him on the GCW 2-Cup stuff when we went to Chicago. He was at that event.
Yeah,
and he tore it up then.
Okay. Is there anything? I mean, look, yeah. Is there anything, Smitty, that you definitely want to talk about for this Impact show before we move into our picks?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the whole Black Taurus thing with Decay. Especially, I like it even more after hearing about the whole Sammy Guevara thing with his idea that he shot the Impact and they shut him down, and the idea that they wanted him to be in Decay and he shot that down. Because apparently Guevara's pitch to Impact for him to win the exhibition title. They pretty much used it as a prop. Apparently he wanted to use the exhibition division title as a prop and not defend it or do anything until they built up a contender on Impact. While he held it over there at AEW doing nothing with it. And AEW, I mean, pretty much Impact, they shot that idea down. So like, well, we want our titles to have meaning and not just to be a prop on somebody else's show.
Mm-hmm.
So they turned that down, and he turned down. He turned down just being a member of Decay, even just for like a part-time member of Decay.
Like, I understand that, right? You want things to work out, but they talked with Tony Khan about stuff. Tony Khan denied the first thing, and then Tony Khan went with the second thing. And then Sammy Guevara was like, I don't want to do that. Bro, you're being used in this crossover. You're being used. Let it be do something, right? Like, stop being a fucking asshole to work with. You're not that fucking deal.
Guevara's gonna be the guy that's gonna be released from AEW.
Thank you. See you later. Adios. You get released from AEW, you a piece of shit. Period. Nick, something specific that you want to mention before we sign off for this, or we cover it all?
No, I mean, I think we hit everything.
Right.
Tag match. I think the tag match was another thing I wanted to tackle.
We kind of talked about it a little bit. Definitely a phenomenal tag match. Great way to end it and everything like that. I was happy. All right. Our last 20 minutes. Let's make some Elimination Chamber picks, gentlemen. The Elimination Chamber is tonight. Big matches. Elimination Chamber for the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre is obviously in the match. Him defending against Randy Orton, Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, and AJ Styles. Then there's a Universal Chamber Opportunity match. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, and Baron Corbin. Whoever wins this Elimination Chamber match has a match later in the night against Roman Reigns for the Blue Universal Championship. Also, there is a triple threat United States Championship match. Bobby Lashley defending against Keith Lee and Matt Riddle. And then for some reason, they're putting the women's champion with another partner to try and fight and win the women's tag team championship. So Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair are going to be taking on Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the women's tag team titles. 5-match card, probably a 4-match card. My thought process is the kickoff show is going to be the women's tag title match. So we shall see how that goes. Let's kick it off. Again, I made all of these picks not watching a single fucking episode of Raw or SmackDown at all. I have it all done. I did it right before the show. I didn't give a shit. I was like, yep. So I'm gonna I'll go first for all of these. I don't give a shit.
I'll let Walt. Well, read off Walt's first. I think it'll make more sense.
I can read off Walt's first. Then Nick, you're the current champion still.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. This is a podcast. Kind of need to hear from you. So Nick will obviously go last on all of them, and then we'll just flip-flop between Z and Smite. So let me pull up the Walt's picks. So we got first the Banks and Belair versus Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax. God, I can't talk. How did the fuck that happen? Walt has Baszler and Jax retaining by pin. Nia Jax making the fall on Sasha Banks. 6 legal tags, 5 aerial moves. The submission rope break of 2.5. He's going over. And no for Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez appearing during or after the match. I also have Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax by pinfall. Also have Nia Jax pinning Sasha Banks. Legal tags I have at 7. Aerial moves I have at 6. Under for the submission rope breaks of 2.5. And also no for Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez appearing during or after the match. Smitty, what you got, brother?
I have Nia Jax and I have Nia Jax's hole and Shayna Baszler winning.
That's cool.
I think I had it by pinfall. I got it by
think
pinfall.
You have it by pinfall?
I'm just like, it was my computer's loading really slowly.
Oh, okay.
But so yeah, I actually got Belair taking a fall, Jax pinning him, because I think Sasha, this is how you turn Sasha heel for this feud. So Belair takes her first pinfall loss at this point. That or Carmella comes in to play. You get one warm-up match with Belair and Carmella. Or this is where you interject Carmella back into there. 7 legal tags, 4 aerial moves, submission rope breaks, over, and no to a Kai Gonzalez appearance.
All right. Z.
I have Jackson Baszler winning by pinfall, Nia pinning Sasha, 6 legal tags, 6 aerial moves, under 2.5 rope breaks, and yes to Kai Gonzalez. All right, I'm changing that.
Make sure you save it right after that.
I know. I know how it goes. I'm also writing it down. I'm switching it to Belair and Banks by disqualification because of Kai and Gonzalez.
Okay.
So that's Banks and Belair disqualification. If there is a fall, then I have Nia over Sasha again.
Okay.
And then the rest is the same.
That's good. That's a good switch, man. I like that. Nick.
I have Sasha and Bianca winning the match by DQ. No one making and no one taking if it's DQ. 7 legal tags, 4 aerial moves, under 2.5 submission rope breaks, and yes to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez showing up.
All right. Up next, the United States Championship triple threat match. Again, Bobby Lashley defending against Matt Riddle and Keith Lee. Walt's picks are as follows. Bobby Lashley winning by submission. Matt Riddle will be the one taking the submission. 5 near falls, 5 interrupted pin attempts, and no to a weapon used. I actually have Keith Lee winning. I think it's by pin. Matt Riddle will take the fall. 9 near falls, 7 interrupted pin attempts, and yes, there will be a weapon used. Z.
I also have Keith Lee winning by pinfall. Matt Riddle will be taking the fall. It will be 7 near falls, 10 interrupted pin attempts, and no, a weapon will not be used.
All right, Smitty.
I have Bobby Lashley strangling the sex offender. So with Bobby Lashley by submission on Matt Riddle. 7 near falls, 4 interrupted pin attempts, and yes, a weapon being used.
Nicholas.
I have Bobby Lashley by submission, choking out Matt Riddle. 9 near falls, 6 interrupted pins, and yes to a weapon.
I heard that 69. Did I? All right. Up next, the Universal Championship match. Actually, you know what? I'm going to skip this and we're going to go last on it because one of these matches plays into this match. So we're going to skip ahead to the WWE Championship Chamber match. Drew McIntyre defending against Randy Orton, Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, Kofi Kingston, and AJ Styles. We will kick off with Waltz. He has Drew McIntyre retaining. Randy Orton will be the first release from the pod. This is really similar. First eliminated, Jeff Hardy. First elimination type is a pin. 11 for the match time at first fall, so 11 minutes. Last release from the pod. Hey, guess what? It's Sheamus he has. Don't know why he would have that. Last eliminated, also Sheamus. Last elimination, fall type pin. Total match time 20 minutes. 4 aerial moves. Eliminations by pin 4.5. He has the over. And will a wrestler jump from the pod? He has yes. I start mine very similar to Walt. Drew McIntyre winning. Randy Orton is the first release from the pod. First eliminated is Jeff Hardy by pinfall. 9 minutes is my match time for the first fall. Sheamus is also who I have last release from the pod. Don't know why I would have that at all. Weird. Last eliminated, I have Randy Orton. Last elimination, fall type pin. Total match time 22 minutes. Aerial moves at 8. I also have the over at 4.5 for eliminations by pin, and a wrestler jumping from the top of the pod. Yes. Smitty.
I have Drew McIntyre winning. First release from the pod is Jeff Hardy.
Oh.
First eliminated Jeff Hardy.
Oh.
First elimination of type will be a pinfall.
Yeah.
Match time before the first pinfall, I have 11 minutes. Last release from the pod, Sheamus.
Really? Weird.
I know. I saw that and I just go, really?
Yeah. 3 points.
More points. Last eliminated Sheamus, because I think they're going to drag this all the way down to Fast Lane, possibly Mania. Last elimination fall type pin. 31-minute match time, 7 aerial moves. Elimination, I have the over. And wrestler jumps on the top of the pod. Hell yeah. We got Kofi and we got Jeff in this thing.
Yeah. And
somebody
AJ.
jumping off that thing. And AJ.
Z.
I have Sheamus winning. First release from the pod will be AJ Styles. First eliminated will be Jeff Hardy. First elimination fall type will be a pin. Match time at first fall about 6 minutes. I also picked Sheamus to be last release from the pod. Weird.
So weird.
I have Drew McIntyre being the last eliminated. I have the last elimination being a pin. I have the match time at about 36 minutes. Aerial moves 8. Eliminations by pin, I picked the over. And wrestler jumps from top of the pod, of course.
Before we go on, I'm actually going to change my match time on this because you guys saying the 30 minutes, there's like 4 main event matches. So it makes sense that we're going to have it around there.
Well, and I believe each pod opens at like 5-minute increments. So that's
2.
20. I thought
5.
it was
It's
5?
I thought it was 5.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be 5.
Yeah, so that's 20.
Listen, it's WWE. We time the Royal Rumble.
Right. So I'm going to go from 22 to 32.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't add a match here. That's 4 matches. You could give each match like 45 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Or an hour and just shorten one of the other matches.
Well, they also pulled the Oscar Lacey Evans thing because
She's pregnant for real.
They did pull it.
They pulled.
Yeah, no, Lacey's like real life pregnant. If that's not
real
real
life
pregnant.
pregnant.
Yeah, she
You
can't.
know what's fucked up? So after I found out about that, I watched Raw from like 2 weeks ago where she takes a spear from Charlotte, and I was like, ooh, like, that's not good.
Ooh. Nick, your picks, please.
I've got Drew McIntyre winning the match. Randy Orton is the first to be released. First eliminated is Matt Hardy or Jeff Hardy.
Same person.
First elimination fall type is a pin. 22-minute match time, and I went against the grain and I picked Sheamus for the last to be released.
Wait. You said 22 match time for the first fall?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Sheamus will be the first released. Last eliminated will be Sheamus. Pin for the last elimination. 34-minute match time. 10 aerials. Eliminations by pin will be over 4.5, and wrestler jumps from the top of the pod. Yes.
All right. Z, quick question. Why do you believe Sheamus is going to take this win?
Because okay. If Sheamus takes this win, then you're gonna get McIntyre versus Sheamus at WrestleMania, which right now, as far as storyline goes, it's the best story that they're telling on Raw. So why not go with it? Plus, you'll get a one-on-one match with Drew and Sheamus at WrestleMania, two big guys that are just gonna beat the fuck out of each other. It's gonna be a stiff, hard-hitting match, which is great. But if you don't give the belt to Sheamus here, it really doesn't do anything to progress their story, because then you could just, Sheamus wins the belt, this feud's going to carry on to WrestleMania. If Sheamus doesn't win the belt, they could give Sheamus his championship opportunity like on Raw the next night and be done with the feud. And then where do you go with Drew? I mean, all signs point to Edge picking Roman. So if not Sheamus, then who? And right now, your best story is with Sheamus. So why not ride that out to WrestleMania? And WWE has been in the habit of giving their fans what they want lately. So I'm just rolling with it.
I agree. I think they could still probably pull off the singles match. Even if Sheamus doesn't win, if someone else gets rid of him or there's a major type of thing that happens for him.
Also, the eerie feeling. I had the eerie feeling that Drew wins, and then we get that cash in, kind of Edge style, like when we did the first cash in on the Money in the Bank.
Oh, okay. So the way I see it is, if you're gonna give Drew his WrestleMania moment because he didn't really get one last year, then it would be more of a pop to me if you had him winning the belt instead of retaining the belt at Mania.
I agree with that. I was thinking a Fastlane situation of possibly losing the belt and then winning it back at Mania. I agree that winning the belt would be a bigger pop. Up next is the Chamber for the Universal Championship opportunity. Again, whoever wins this match goes on to face Roman Reigns a little bit later in the pay-per-view for the Blue Universal Championship. Cesaro, Daniel Bryan, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens, and Baron, look at my watch, Corbin, are going to be facing each other. Walt's picks are Daniel Bryan to win. First release from the fucking pod is Cesaro. Again, really familiar. First eliminated is Jey Uso. First elimination fall type is a pin. Match time at the first elimination is 8. Baron Corbin released from the pod last. The last eliminated is Cesaro. Last elimination fall type is pin. Total match time 20 minutes, 8 near falls, under 12.5 aerial moves. And will a wrestler go through a pod wall? Yes. I have also Daniel Bryan winning this. First release from the pod is Cesaro. Sami Zayn is the first eliminated. First elimination fall type is pin. Match time at first elimination, plus or minus 1. I have it at 8. Last release from the pod, Baron Corbin. Cesaro, I also have last eliminated. Last elimination fall type is by pin. And the total match time, I'm going to put this at 34. And 8 near falls, aerial moves under 12.5, and a wrestler going through the pod wall. Fuck yeah. Z.
I'm stuck on my winner right now.
Just go with Daniel Bryan.
Oh no, I'm gonna go with Cesaro.
Ooh.
Although I slightly want to pick Jey Uso as well. First released from the pod will be Sami Zayn. And then he'll handcuff himself inside there. First eliminated will be Baron Corbin. First eliminated. Okay, so has it been determined who's entering last in this one, or
No.
is this one like? Okay,
This
cool.
one, everything is on the table. It's not like there was a match on SmackDown to decide who was coming in last.
First elimination.
Thanks for the free points, Daniel.
Yeah, he'll still end up fucking me out of them. Don't worry, it'll happen. You guys all heard me say that it would be Sheamus, when for some reason it'll be Daniel Bryan, and he's not even in that match.
Your butthole can't take it.
Match time at first elimination. Dude, all these guys can go. So I'm gonna go with 16 minutes. Last released from the pod is Sheamus. I'm gonna go with
Z.
fuck.
Sit there.
I'm here. Hold on.
He's recovering.
We're gonna go with Kevin Owens. Last eliminated will be Daniel Bryan, so the Smarks can cry. Last elimination type. What's Cesaro's finisher or submission finisher? Isn't it the sharpshooter?
Sharpshooter.
Oh man, we're gonna go pinfall. Total match time. So it makes sense for them to go longer here. So then I'm gonna get destroyed by Roman later. So I'm gonna go with 43 minutes.
All
right. Near falls, it's gonna be like 18.
On that Cameron Grimes juice.
Aerial moves are gonna be under 12.5 because it's WWE. Wrestler goes through pod wall. Yeah, because it's gonna be Kevin Owens trying to do a cannonball. All right, yeah, there's my list.
Okay, so read it top to bottom.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
He was fast when he was doing the random.
No, it's fine. This way, it's like we know exactly what it is, and you can have any type of argument if it fucks up again.
Yeah, Daniel, pay attention. All right, so I got Cesaro as your winner. First release is Sammy. First eliminated is Corbin. First elimination type is a pinfall. Match time at first elimination, 16 minutes. Kevin Owens will be the last release. Last eliminated will be Daniel Bryan. Last elimination type will be pinfall. Total match time is 43 minutes. Near falls 18. Under 12.5 aerial moves. And yes, the wrestler goes through the pod.
All right.
Wow.
Smitty.
I got Kevin Owens winning. First release from the pod, Cesaro. First eliminated, Jey Uso. First elimination fall type, pin. Match time at first elimination, 13 minutes. Last release from the pod, Sami Zayn. Last eliminated, Daniel Bryan. Last elimination fall type, pin. 35-minute total match time, 11 near falls. Under 12.5 aerial moves. Yes to a wrestler going through the pod wall.
All right, Nick.
I've got Kevin Owens winning as well, with Sami Zayn being the first released and the first eliminated will be Sami Zayn. Pinfall for the first elimination fall type. 19 minutes with the match time at the first eliminated. Last release from the pod will be Jey Uso. Last eliminated will be Uso. Last elimination fall type will be a pin. 29-minute match time. 11 near falls. Under 12.5 aerial moves, and yes to a wrestler going through the pod.
All right. Up next, Universal Championship match. Roman Reigns versus the Elimination Chamber 2021 winner. Here are Walt's picks. He has Roman Reigns winning by submission. Match time at 18 minutes. Near falls of 4. Spears 2.5. He has under. I have Roman Reigns also winning by pinfall. Match time. Man, I had it at 11. I'm gonna switch this because again, 4 fucking matches. I'm gonna put this at 17 minutes. 4 near falls. Spears under 2.5. Smitty.
I have Roman Reigns winning by submission. 13-minute match time. 4 near falls. Under on the Spears 2.5.
All right. Z.
Roman Reigns by pinfall. Match time will be 5 minutes. Near falls will be 1. It's just gonna take one spear, so I'm gonna go under the spears here. So
Sean?
that's Roman Reigns winning by pinfall in a 5-minute match with one near fall, under spears, and Sheamus will come in last.
Nick.
I guess we'll go with Roman Reigns.
Really? Weird.
Yeah, I guess. It'll be a submission, 12-minute match time, 4 near falls, and no to 2.5. Or sorry,
so
under.
So hear me out real quick. Cesaro starts the chamber match, goes on to win, so he competes for like 45 minutes, right? Then he goes up against Roman, and you still think he's gonna get a 12-minute match? Like I'm pretty sure that if they're gonna do this like they've been doing it, that Roman's gonna get his match like immediately after the chamber.
Yeah.
So
I don't think they do that.
So I'm thinking like 2-minute match time.
I think that it's going to start. We're going to get into our match card positions in a second, but I think it's going to start with the chamber match for the title opportunity and end with Roman versus that winner.
I agree, but the way they've been doing the whole Roman has pull, it wouldn't shock me if they're like, okay, Roman wants his match right now, and they make it happen.
They raise the chamber and Cesaro's dead in the ring, and then
one spear,
Roman.
one fall.
Yeah.
See?
Well, that's a good point. All right. Up next, finally for the card, main card match position, opening match number 3, and main event. Walt has, give me 2 seconds, boys. Opening match is the chamber for the Universal Opportunity. Match number 3 is the United States Championship, and the main event is the WWE Championship Chamber match. I have Chamber Universal Opportunity opening. The WWE Championship Chamber is number 3, and the main event chamber match is Universal Championship Opportunity. Z.
Your opening match is definitely going to be the Universal Chamber. Your third match is going to be your U.S. title match. And your main event is going to be, Universal Championship.
See, and that's the other thing that I'm playing into this is because Roman's storyline right now on SmackDown is he's the true main event. So the Royal Rumble winner has to pick him because otherwise he's not the true main event of WWE. So that's why I think that he's definitely main event here too.
And he killed Mufasa.
Twice.
Also, I've hit. Okay, pay attention. I've hit save after every pick, and now it says your predictions have been saved. So. It's all. I'm even going to screenshot it just so everybody can see it. There we go. I'm also going to jot it down.
Also,
maybe I'll type it out too.
Let you know, just to let you know, Daniel, they have that save file on you now. So every time you save your card, they see it being saved and see if something's going to change at the end of it. So
Daniel's literally stalking me. He's tapped in
to make sure that your shit is fixed and we find the
bug for this
that has a problem with it. Which hey man, that just means that they're trying to fix everything. So you got to give them props.
Oh yeah, I do. But if he was really good, he wouldn't have to fix this problem in the first place.
That's on Mike. Mike's building the website. Smitty, your picks for the match position.
I have the Universal Chamber as opening match. Match number 3, the United States Championship. In the main event is the WWE Championship Chamber. We're going to start and end with a chamber.
Nick.
Is Nick frozen?
No.
What?
We're waiting on you, sir.
Oh, I froze. Okay.
Oh.
I've got the Universal Elimination Chamber first, the Triple Threat in the United States as the third, and the main event is the Universal.
All right. What are we thinking for this pay-per-view? Z, are you hoping that this lives up to NXT, or are you thinking it's going to be more like TLC?
How about no surrender?
He's not watching it.
No, I don't know, man. I hope every pay-per-view lives up to NXT, but the harsh reality is they never do. So I'm gonna go 6. I'm expecting a 6. Do better.
Okay. Smitty, what are you expecting?
I'm in Z's ballpark of a 6. There's nothing really on this card that's really popping out to me. I feel like this is all set. Even if it just sets up a Mania, I'll probably give it more.
Okay.
100%. It's gonna do something to set up Mania.
Well, like good setup, not just bullshit.
I mean, we already kind of know what it's gonna be, though. We just don't know how they're gonna get there.
Yep, that's the point I'm getting at. Like, make it good.
Nick,
I'm gonna go with a 7. I think there's a lot of different options that they could do. You still got Miz with the Money in the Bank. This is the first time in a while that we've seen the Money in the Bank briefcase holder hold it this long. So I'm not saying he's going to cash in, but it gives you some options to go with, you know.
That's also false though, because Rollins held it to Mania. And
no, I'm just saying, like, since, you know.
Oh, okay.
In recent years?
Yeah, recent years.
That's fair.
Technically, he's lost it twice.
Once.
Yeah, that's okay. Before we sign off, someone explain that to me. How did he get it back?
Because John Morrison was the one that tried to cash it in, not him.
Yeah.
Adam Pearce said he still has the money in the bank on the technicality.
Miz was like crying on a staircase, and Adam Pearce walked by with the briefcase and was like, "Here, technically you are right. Morrison is the one that handed the briefcase and told the ref to ring the bell, and this is your briefcase, so you have to do it," or some narrative like that.
Oh, okay.
It's really kind of dumb, actually.
Yeah, of course. It's WWE. There's certain things aren't gonna fucking make sense at all.
You took that case off of Otis for this bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of what the Miz. I've always been a huge Miz fan, and I have not been a fan of like his little whatever the fuck he's doing right now.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
All right, well, everybody, make sure you watch Elimination Chamber tonight. If you don't, that's fine. It's your life. Do what you want. I'm not going to force you to do anything. It's not like I'm Matt Riddle.
Or shove your shot in the trunk, allegedly.
Make sure you go to breakingdownthering.com. Get yourself some fucking Breaking Down the Ring merch. We got a brand new Ring Crew shirt. Smitty's wearing a variation of it right now. It's his own personal shirt. It's because we have to give him shirts because he doesn't really buy anything. If it's not something that we give him, it's something a liquor distributor gave him. So that's how it goes.
I do buy things, and I buy things and give them as gifts from our website.
Yeah, sure. Whatever. That's it for us. Oh, you know what? I didn't get the score for Impact No Surrender. Smitty, what do you give it?
I give it a 7.
Nick?
8.
I'm actually ready.
7.5.
7.5 is what I was giving it as well.
I give it a 6.
A 6, and he didn't even see it. That's how good it was for him. Holy shit!
Nah, I just want to bring the average down.
Folks, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for paying attention. We are your Ring Crew.
Smitty.
Z.
Nick.
And me, the almighty one, Mikey himself. Again, thank you so much for listening. We are out.